In this presentation, we're going to record the receipt of a payment into our accounting system. In other words, we created an invoice in prior presentations. We're now going to say that we are receiving payments on those invoices. Let's zoom into it with Xero. Here we are in our Get Great Guitars dashboard. We're going to have a receipt of a payment. Let's go ahead and open up our trial balance first. So we're going to go to the accounting dropdown. I'm going to go to the reports. We're going to be looking for that report, that trusty trial balance report. Going to be scrolling down to the accounting tab, looking for that trial balance. When that opens up, we're going to duplicate the tab by going up to the tab, right-clicking on it, and duplicating that tab. So we're going to have the trial balance to the left. We're going to be entering the data to the right. Now let's take a look at our flow chart. I'm going to jump over to the QuickBooks desktop just to take a look at the flow chart. Here's our customer section. Last time we had entered invoices. Invoices will typically increase accounts receivable all the time. And the other side will be going to sales, and then there might be an inventory side of things. So in our case, what we're concerned with now is that the invoice was entered. There's a receivable on it now. Next thing that happens, we're going to receive payment. In our scenario, we can imagine basically we had a guitar, we shipped out the guitar with the bill, the invoice on it. Now we expect to receive a payment. We can imagine now we're getting a payment in the mail. Now the thing with the payments we need to keep in mind is that if we're in the type of company where the payment comes in and I can deposit it directly into the bank, like let's say I could scan a check or something like that I get, put it right into the bank, and it's going to appear on the bank statement in the same format as it is on our books, meaning check by check, then I could just put it directly into the bank account at this point in time. However, if I'm in this type of industry where I'm going to have multiple types of deposits, which I will then go to the bank and deposit them into the bank in such a format where I won't know how they're grouped very well, then what I want to do is figure out how I can put it into the bank in such a way that it'll group them properly so I can reconcile with the bank reconciliation. So we're going to practice doing that. Instead of putting it right into the checking account here, as you could do, and that might work well, we're going to set up basically a clearing account, putting it into an undeposited funds account to hold on to until we actually go to the bank making the deposit in the format and then we'll put it into the system in the format that the deposit is made. So let's just think about how that might work. I'm going to go back over here to our trial balance. We're going to take this out to 2020. Let's go to January 31st, 2020 and update this report. And what's going to happen now is the receivable is going to go down. We're going to get the cash, or either cash or a check. You would think then the checking account would go up. We could do that. However, if we haven't put it into the bank yet, we might want to put it first into a holding account so that we can then go to the bank and group it in the bank in the same format that it'll be seen there. To do that, we would need some other kind of checking account or something like that, a clearing account to put it into temporarily. So let's set that up first. I'm going to go to the trial balance over here. I'm going to go to the accounting drop down. I'm going to hold down control and scroll down a bit. I'm going to open up the bank account. Let's go to bank accounts. And then I'm simply going to add another bank account. Now this is just going to be a clearing account, so I don't need any bank feeds or anything like that because it's not going to be connected to any particular bank. However, they kind of force us to pick one. So let's say Bank of America. So I'm just going to pick a bank. Did I spell America wrong? America, Bank of America. So there we go. And I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to say the account name is just going to be the clearing bank account number. I'm just going to pick a number to allow me to push forward here, and then I'm going to continue. I'm not going to be connecting obviously any bank feeds. I just want to set up a bank account. It says connect with the bank, last 4 digits. I'm not going to connect with the bank here, so I'm going to push forward. Basically just canceled out of that, so that and now I'm back in our banking section. So I have this clearing account here that's not connected to any bank. We're not going to be using bank feeds, obviously, with it. It's just going to be a holding account until we actually go to the bank and make the deposit. Okay, so now that that is set up, now we can go back up top and let's back to our dashboard. And we're going to consider a receipt of a payment. So then I'm going to go down to invoices owed to you. So let's search the invoices that are owed to us, and we're going to get a payment on one of them. I want to select the awaiting payment invoices. So we'll select the awaiting payment invoices. So we're going to go ahead and select this item. So we're going to select this is the invoice that we had the payment on. Now note that if you had multiple kind of invoices that you were going to put together and you're going to put them in the bank at the same time, you could select multiple invoices that you received payment on and then make the group deposit. So then you can select those items and then make the deposit. We're going to put ours into the clearing account, recording the items first into the clearing account and then take it out of there and put it into the bank. So I'm going to choose Anderson. We can go ahead and just select this item then. This will take us back into the invoice. There's the $5,000 that is owed, and this was our beginning balance kind of invoice when we put in place. Here's the amount, and then I'm going to say the amount paid, and we'll give the date here. We're going to say is, let's say the 12th. We're going to say the 12th, and then the paid to. Now, I'm not going to put it into the checking account, but the clearing account at this point in time. If I want to put it in the checking account, I can, but I'm going to put it into the clearing account, and then we could put a reference if we so choose. Now, what's this going to do? Decrease the AR, accounts receivable, and it's going to put it into this clearing account. Let's go ahead and add the payment, see what happens. So here's the payment received, so that looks good. Let's go on over to the trial balance then. Let's go ahead and update the trial balance. So now we have this clearing account up top of the $5,000 that's waiting to then go into the checking account. If we go into that clearing account, we then see our $5,000 transaction, and it's going to be called a receive payment. So if I go into that receive payment, it looks like this. So we're going to the transaction. It's going to be a payment type form. So you don't see the entire invoice form, but you do see the connection to the invoice if you so choose here. So then I'm going to go back to the trial balance. And the other side of this is going to be in the accounts receivable. So if we then go down to the accounts receivable, which is going to be here, we should see the other side of this transaction. The accounts receivable then going down by that $5,000. Now we can also see the supporting documentation. If I go back for the accounts receivable document, or the accounts receivable account, we can go back to the first tab. I'm going to go to the accounting drop down, take a look at the old reports. We want to look at one that will be supporting the accounts receivable. If I look at the aged receivable summary report, let's open that one up. Now we're left with the Anderson, Jones, and Smith outstanding. So the outstanding balances adding up to that $16,365.05. If I go back to the trial balance, we should have the $16,365.05 here as well on the trial balance. And of course, this would be reflected on the balance sheet as well.